in few minutes. Thank you for joining us. It's fantastic to have you all on board. I'm Rasha Khan. I'm your host for today's webinar, and I'm joining from all the way from Bangalore, India. And you can drop us a hello and let us know where are you tuning in from. And this webinar is global, so we basically let the global conversations begin. You can let us know on chat box here your name and where are you joining us from before we start. It's a good way to network, right? These events. So before we start. And in today's webinar, we'll be talking about how you can ace your next EIML interview with the expert tips. We already have our expert speaker here with us, Amitendra Srivastav. Amitendra, where are you joining us from?
Hey Rasha, I'm joining from Hyderabad, India.
Awesome. I can see folks have joined from Bangalore. I can see Prakash has joined from Mumbai. I can see Sandeep has joined from Madhya Pradesh, Bhopal. Rahul has joined from New Delhi. I can see Jyoti from Hyderabad. I can see Priyanka has joined from Kolkata here, Mukul from Bangalore, Raju from UP, Uttar Pradesh, Archana from Himachal Pradesh, Hamirpur. I can see Mohammed has joined from Saudi Arabia. So keep the introductions coming in. I can see a lot of introductions coming in on chat here. That's great. We've gotten a really amazing audience here with active participation on the chat here. That's great. Keep up the energy while we do the session as well. Because we would love to know any thoughts, any insights you even have if you would love to share. And obviously, if you have any questions about any interview questions which you might face, which you have faced, how to answer that better. So we'll be moving forward. I can see a lot of folks are still joining in and settling in. So meanwhile, keep the introductions coming in on chat here. And we will quickly go through the ground rules here before we start. So you can put down your questions in the Q&A box in case you have a question for our speaker here. What happens is we get a lot of messages on chat here and we might miss it, and we would love to address all of your queries. And keep the questions related to the session topic here, AIML interviews or AIML career in general. Any questions you have about that. We'll try to take as many questions as possible throughout the session and towards the end as well. The session is being recorded, so in case you want to go through the recording of the session again, you can expect a follow-up email with recording link and the bonus offer. And for the session, you'll be getting a webinar certificate as well. For that, you need to request a proof of attendance for this webinar. You can provide your full name in the post-webinar survey based on what a name basically you would want to be there on the certificate of the webinar. So I can see the introductions are still coming in. That's great. Let's start. So this program is powered by Simplilearn, world's #1 online bootcamp. We are very proud. We have been in the digital skills training space for almost 13 years now. And we have advanced over 5 lakh plus careers in over 150 plus countries. And we have 800 plus qualified trainers. We have multiple categories like AI, machine learning, data science, business analytics, cybersecurity, DevOps, cloud computing, and many more, which this slide cannot cover. So once again, welcome to the webinar here. So this free interview prep masterclass on AIML will be covering these agendas. We'll be starting to getting to know a little bit more about you, how we can help you better in your AIML career. And we'll be talking about the live interview prep masterclass for AIML. And if you have any questions, basically any question about basically you might face in an AIML interview you've already faced, you can let us know in the Q&A box. As I was speaking, I can see that folks have already started asking questions, so that's great. So I can see you have basically come prepared to ask questions. So keep the questions coming in, and we'll be talking about program introduction here, the professional certificate program in AIML by IIT Kanpur. And we'll be taking you through the enrollment steps of the program. And as I mentioned earlier, there'll be special duration for the Q&A part. So in case we are not able to address your queries throughout the session, so don't worry, we'll be answering it towards the end. So yeah. So as I said, that we'll be starting the session by getting to know you a little better. So we would love to know how many years of experience do you currently have? For folks who have joined us, you can see a quick poll on your screen. Here you can select the most suitable experience from the options we have currently studying, 0 to 3 years of experience, 3 to 5 years of experience, and the last one more than 5 years of experience. As I was speaking, I can see the polls have already started moving. I can see one of our alumni have also joined us, Amitendra, Raju Yadav. Hey Raju, hi, welcome. He's already an alumni in the EML course by IIT Kanpur. So I think, Raju, if you have any questions you might be facing in an interview with AIML, you can let us know in the Q&A box. We will make sure to answer that because you have already enrolled to the program, because so you already might be basically facing those interview questions, or I'm not sure like if you've completed the program yet or not. So feel free to let us know. Welcome once again. So I can see as I was speaking, folks have already shared the responses. How many years of experience do you currently have? So I'll just give 10 seconds more for the poll here before we start the session. Okay. I can see that a lot of you are messaging us on chat here with your doubts. So just to let you know that there is a Q&A box just beside the chat box, which basically we are conversing here. So we usually take questions from there because when we start the session, we'll get a lot of messages on chat here, and we would love for you to engage on the chat. So just for that, just to separate the Q&A part, you can put down your questions in the Q&A box. And we have already gotten questions in the Q&A box, so that's interesting before we have even started the session. Awesome. I think most of the folks have already voted for this poll here. How many years of experience do you currently have? So let me quickly end the poll now and also share the results with you folks and Amitendra here as well. So as we can see that 48% of the folks who have joined us have more than 5 years of experience. Wow, that's great. And we can see 31% of the folks have 0 to 3 years of experience. And a few of the folks who have joined us are currently studying or have 3 to 5 years of experience. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And as we start the session, I would like to introduce our guide here and speaker, Amitendra Srivastav. Amitendra, first of all, welcome to the session, and thank you for taking the time out for taking the folks to the interview prep masterclass for AIML. Would you like to introduce yourself to the crowd here?
Hey, thanks, Rasha. Always pleasure to be here. Hello, everyone. This is Amitendra, and truly delighted to be here with all of you today. My name is Amitendra, and you can call me Amit. Just to give you a quick introduction, I'm a stats graduate, and then I did my MBA in IT, and then started my career with HDFC Bank. Over the years, I have privilege of working with different companies. Overall, I have accumulated over 16 years of corporate experience, and my journey in corporate world has been defined by my passion for analytics and statistical concepts. And this passion has driven me to excel in the field of training delivery and analytics product development both. And over the years, I have had incredible opportunity to work with some remarkable organizations and individuals. And I have had the privilege of training corporate organizations in data science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, accumulating over 4,500 hours of training experience. And it's been a deeply rewarding experience to empower professionals with the knowledge and skills to harness the power of these transformative technologies that we talk about. And in addition to my training endeavors, I'm proud to be associated with esteemed institution like Purdue University and Caltech through my partnership with Simplilearn. And this is where I teach PGP program. Their PGP program, I teach machine learning and advanced deep learning concepts. And parallelly, I also wear the hat of an entrepreneur. I co-founded a company called Intellitica, which I'm running since last 10 years. So that in a nutshell, what I have been doing, guys.
Thank you so much, Amitendra, for introduction. Once again, welcome to the session. As we will be starting the interview prep masterclass here, how we can basically ace your next AIML interview with expert tips here. Before we start, we would love to know, why exactly are you attending this interview prep masterclass for AIML today? So you can see a quick poll on your screen. This is a multiple choice question. So you can select multiple options here because there can be multiple reasons for joining this interview prep masterclass here, right? So as I was speaking, folks have already started sharing their responses on the poll here. That's great. As I said, we have gotten really active, responsive audience here. So I would love to see that activeness on the Q&A box here as well. We already have questions in the Q&A box when we have started. That's great. But if you have any particular interview question you want to ask a doubt about, you can let us know in the Q&A box. We'll be taking those pretty soon. So I just read out those options here. Basically, why are you attending this interview prep masterclass today? So this is to understand how we can basically help out you better. And the first one here is enhance my interview skills specific to AIML positions. Second one, mastered effective strategies for answering AIML related questions. Third one, tailor my responses to diverse AIML interview types. And last one, navigate challenging AML scenarios and impress potential employers. So that's equally important. So I'll just give 10 seconds more for the folks who are still basically thinking about it. And in case this poll does not cover your answer, you can let us know in the chat here as well, or in the Q&A box, as you're comfortable. So most of the folks have already shared their responses here. I'll just give 5 seconds more for the poll before we start the interview prep masterclass. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll and also share the results with you folks. So as we can see, we have gotten the highest amount of votes, 84%, for the first option here, enhance my interview skills specific to AIML positions. And we have gotten 54% votes for master effective strategies for answering AIML related questions. And 49% votes for navigating challenging AIML scenarios and impressing potential employers. And we have gotten 36% votes for tailor my responses to diverse AIML interview types. So I think thank you so much for sharing that with us. This basically gives us a better understanding, in which direction we need to go. And we will basically be starting the interview prep masterclass now. So let's start with the skills. The skills you need to have to be an AML practitioner. So before we even go to the interview questions here. So Amitendra, can you take us through the skills which are required to become an AML practitioner in today's world?
Sure, Rasha. So if you see on your screen, we are starting with the foundational skills, which talks about statistics and maths. This would be your foundational skills. Basically, to understand the learning algorithm in a better manner, you should have understanding of some mathematical concepts and as well as statistical concepts. Some of the statistical concepts are also useful in drawing certain inferences from the data and making decision on top of that. So that comes very handy. So you start with the basics of statistics and little advanced part as well. Then go through some basic maths, talking about algebra, talking about coordinate geometry, your vectors, matrices, all that you just cover, and then get into Python and its libraries. So Python, think of it as a helping hand and get the understanding how Python works and what are the different libraries which you can use in your data science journey. So that's what you should start with, or you should have that skill set for sure. And then you move to machine learning algorithms. So you talk about, you have to cover supervised, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning, could be semi-supervised learning. And within each framework, you'll have different kinds of algorithm. Like ensemble learning is part of your supervised learning. So recommendation system could be developed using supervised as well as unsupervised learning algorithms. So you need to learn those algorithms, and there'll be a huge number of algorithms that you should be acquainted with, and you should know how do they work, because a different data set might be suitable for different kind of algorithms. So you never know what will work for you. Then once you are done with the machine learning part, the learning methods which is mentioned, then you move to the advanced topics, which is basically deep learning in predominantly. So you work with the neural networks over there. How do they work? And there are different types of neural network, different architectures are there. So get familiarity with all that. Then the recent developments which has taken place, especially in generative adversarial networks or any generative AI algorithm that you talk about, you should get understanding of those algorithms as well. And then once you will have understanding of these advanced algorithms, you can take those algorithm and apply in image processing or text generation. So that will cover your computer vision and NLP. So that's what the entire path should be. Start with the foundational skills, and eventually you should understand how deep learning algorithms work.
That sounds pretty interesting. Those are those skills. Basically, you take up as an EML practitioner. Thank you so much for taking us through that, Amitendra. And let's move on to the career paths. These skills basically open up so many career paths in AI/ML. As we can see on the screen, we a lot of these career paths, but I'm pretty sure there are so many more career paths, beyond these which folks can take up. If you talk about artificial intelligence or machine learning, you think about becoming an artificial intelligence engineer or a machine learning engineer, but it's more than that, right? So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure, I can talk about these job roles which are there. Let's start with the machine learning engineer. So if I have to tell you about the responsibilities of a machine learning engineer, it would be designing and implementing machine learning applications, developing and deploying models, machine learning models, and different optimization algorithms. That's what the responsibility would be, the key responsibilities I'm talking about. And if you talk about experience, generally, machine learning engineers, generally 2 to 5 years of experience in software engineering or data science with a strong understanding of machine learning algorithm programming and software development will be preferred. That's how generally it goes. So that's your machine learning engineer. And then you have data engineer. Data engineers would be responsible for building and maintaining data pipelines. So basically, before you apply machine learning models, whatever kind of data processing is required, that will be taken care by data engineers. So maintaining data pipelines, data warehousing, or data infrastructure that you are building, all that would be part of data engineering job. They will ensure that data availability and quality for the analysis is up to the mark. That's what data engineers will do. And generally, people coming from database management or data architecture would be preferred. But if you have good understanding of SQL or ETL, generally extract, transform, load, ETL processes and data warehousing technologies, then you can think of data engineering jobs. Then we have AI architect, and AI architect would be designing and overseeing the implementation of AI solutions, defining the entire architecture and infrastructure needed for AI applications, and ensuring scalability and performance, which is a very important task that they have to carry out. And generally, AI architect would be 5 to 10 years of experience in AI, machine learning, and software architecture, along with a strong understanding of various AI technologies, frameworks, and their applications. Then you have AI developer. AI developer will be responsible for developing AI applications, coding, and implementing AI algorithms. So they will be writing the entire code for the AI algorithms, and also integrating AI solutions into existing systems. So that would be AI developer. And then you have data scientist. Data scientist, the job would be analyzing complex data set, developing some statistical model or machine learning models, and deriving actionable insights from the data to solve business problems. So their core job would be to analyze the data, and the data could be complex, it could be unstructured, it could be structured, it doesn't matter. So that's what the main job of data scientist would be. And typically, once you grow in this particular job role, your job role will transform into a senior data scientist, and from there you can move to either into management probably, or you can move into AI development, AI architect, and all. That's how it goes. So those are the job roles that we are talking about here.
Thank you so much for taking us through these career paths in AI/ML. Moving on to the interview prep questions here for AI/ML. So the first one we have here, these are the most asked basically interview questions we have picked up. And as you were speaking, we actually have a lot of questions in the Q&A box as well, the interview questions. We'll take those maybe in between. But the first one here is, why did you choose AI/ML as a career path? So Amitendra, before even answering, how to answer this, I would actually love to ask you, why did you choose AI/ML as your career path? I think folks would love to know.
Mine was, if you're asking about mine, was more of a natural path for me to take up this particular job, because I was doing statistics and I was very keen in terms of working with the data. So what I have realized over the period of time, that if you have this knack of working with the data, or you have this knack of analyzing a particular situation scenario back with the data, then this is what you should choose. And automatically this passion for the problem solving that you're talking about will develop over the period of time, even if initially you are thinking you're not into it. Because once you start working with the data, that particular part where you have to define a problem and then acquire some data and start solving it gives you a lot of satisfaction when you are working on a real-time problem. So if you ask me, I was into statistics, and I was into statistics because I was probably good at maths at my childhood. So that's how it went. But thankfully, I got into this because I over the period of time, I have realized that I really have the first sentence that you have mentioned, passion for problem solving. And that's what has led me to this particular path.
Wow, that's interesting. Now, for someone basically who's just starting out, and an interview asks them, "Well, why did you choose AIML as your career path?" So, folks here are coming from different fields. They're transitioning to AIML as a career path. So, what would you recommend them? How would they respond to a question like this in an interview?
Okay, one of the things definitely they should mention in some of the other manner that they are passionate about solving a problem with the data, which way they want to put it across their wish. They can paraphrase that, but they have to tell this in some of the other manner that they have realized over the period of time that they are good at problem solving, and they're logical, they're more organized, structured in problem solving, and that's where they have chosen this particular path. And at the moment, this is the path which is giving you a good opportunity in terms of applying these skill set that they have, and that's why they have chosen. So I would say that somewhere you have to mention in some language that you are good at problem solving, and that's what is key part to start with. Because when you talk about any other thing, like if I say continuous learning that you have mentioned, which is a very key aspect of machine learning and AI career, because every day something new is coming up. But you can correlate that with some other field as well, that there also is a continuous learning you can think of. But the problem solving which is happening these days is entirely revolving around AI and ML, and that's what you have to put it across.
Uh, that sounds very interesting. Like, how would you recommend folks to basically maybe personalize the answer as well? Like basically something they like doing. Like the way you said, that mathematics is something you were always interested in. So how would they basically personalize the question as well, answer as well? When they answer.
If you want to personalize is basically you can say something like this. If you really ask me, probably I can say that my passion for understanding and leveraging the power of data to solve complex problem has taken me to this particular path, or has helped me to choose this particular career. And over the period of time, I have realized that the transformative potential of AI ML in various industries has or you can put it across like this: witnessing the transformative potential of AI ML in various industries, I was drawn to its capacity to drive innovation and create meaningful solutions. And furthermore, my fascination with the intersection of technology and human intelligence has inspired me to delve deeper into realm of AI and ML. And I recognize the opportunity to contribute to the development of intelligent system that can learn, adopt, and make some informed decision. And that's how I have come to this particular job role or path that you're talking about.
Thank you so much, Amatindra, for answering that. I think that makes pretty sense, but there are no correct ways to answer, right? There are so many ways they can take up, right, and personalize it. I hope this basically helps you folks. Now, moving on to the next question here. So the next interview question which we have here is, can you describe a specific AIML project you have worked on, including the problem, your approach, and the outcome? So projects basically being the most important thing for someone who basically has not worked in the AML field, right? And we even cover in this program, you have so many hands-on projects which we can work on and basically add to the resume, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, like this basically seems to be the most asked question as well, in an AML interview.
Sure. So I saw one question also on this, that somebody asked that they have some of the interviews that they have gone through. The question was asked in terms of what's the approach overall, and the generic approach that they have asked. So I want to answer both the questions, one that is there on your screen, and also what was asked in Q&A. So the generic answer for any machine learning project that you talk about is, if you ask me, you simply search for CRISP DM. It's called CRISP DM. Okay. So I'll do one thing. I'll write it down. I hope you don't mind, Rasha. So here, there's something called CRISP DM. Okay. On your screen, you can see it. So CRISP DM is cross-industry standard procedure for data mining. And that's a very good framework to apply into machine learning. So it starts with the business understanding, the domain understanding of business understanding, that you then the next step would be a problem statement, or the business question that you are solving and that you are answering. Then it talks about data acquisition, then data preparation, model building, model evaluation, and deployment. So that's a very generic step I'm giving you over here. Okay. So it talks about a standard procedure for data mining, which you can take it up in machine learning project. Now, to give you a little example over here, like it says here, can you describe a specific AI/ML project you have worked on? I can give you a couple of examples, probably that will help. And this is how you can put it across if you're talking about specific project then. Like, for example, I can say, if somebody asks me this question, that can you describe a specific AI/ML project you have worked on, and including the problem? Even if they do not mention that, include the problem statement, you start with this. Like, for example, I'd say the problem statement was, the company was experiencing a high churn rate for the customers, which led to a loss of revenue and decline in customer satisfaction. Understanding and predicting customer churn was critical for the business's sustainability and growth. That was the problem. And then the approach will come as, then I'll start with the data acquisition. So probably I can explain what kind of data I had. So I can say I had customer demographics, which had age, gender, location, and other relevant demographic details of the customer. We also had subscription usage metric, like usage pattern, including the frequency of logins, duration, and subscription and all. We also had engagement metrics, like metrics related to customer engagement, such as the number of interaction with the customer support, feedback provided, billing information was given, customer interactions have been given whenever they have interacted with us. That was the data I had. And then the approach was, first I started with the data pre-processing. So I could mention the techniques that I used for data cleaning, like handling missing values and outliers, or data integration that I had to do because data was sitting at different silos. Or I can talk about feature engineering, that I did feature engineering. And so all this part I can put in my approach. First point, data pre-processing technique. So I conducted extensive data cleaning, handling missing values and outliers. I also performed feature engineering to extract relevant customer behavior metrics from the subscription log. And I can create some examples that this was what was given to me, and this is what I did. Then next part, I would say that then I have chosen a machine learning algorithm. I tried different algorithms. I tried logistic regression. I tried decision tree. I tried random forest. Probably I tried XGBoost. Some of these algorithms I tried, and then I tried to predict the likelihood of customer churn based on the historical data. And I also used techniques like cross-validation to ensure that models is reliable for the use. So that's my next step that I am talking about. And I'll go in detail. I'm giving you a very short description over here. Then next thing I'll talk about is validation and optimization of the model. A lot of people, they miss out on the optimization of the model. They say they validated or they evaluated the model with the appropriate evaluation technique. Probably they look for precision and recall or F1 score for a classification problem. What they don't mention generally is how do they optimize the model. So you need to talk about, like, if I'm using random forest, I can mention the model was overfitted, or I had a very bad recall value, and then I worked on that, or I had a data set which was imbalanced, so I needed to work with that, or I had to do some hyperparameter tuning. So you need to explain that in detail, which gives this idea that you have in-depth knowledge of these algorithms. You do not have a superficial knowledge. You understand that if I have a random forest model, I can use a minimum sample split to tune the model and so that it will perform better. So that's what you need to mention in detail, especially the optimization part. Nobody talks about in general, I'm saying. Then eventually you talk about the outcome, that what was the outcome of this project. Once you finish the project, generally what people say, I built the model, we deployed, and then end of story. Don't stop there. Go to the outcome part. And then you start writing that, or start telling that what kind of impact it has created on the company. So then you can say outcome, like in this example, I can say achieved meaningful insights or solutions, like developed models successfully predicted customer churn with a higher degree of accuracy, and which helped the company to proactively identify at-risk customers. I can say improved decision-making process, enhanced overall efficiency and outcomes. I have to give the outcome also, that what it has brought to the company when you have done the analysis. So that's how you should generally answer. You should not simply talk about that these are the steps I took, I built the model, I deployed. No, go in detail, a little bit more detail. And then what you should do is talk about those things which are really you're more comfortable generally. Like if I'm very good at, suppose, optimization, I'll definitely talk little extra on that, so that they can ask more question on that. If you're not going to mention something which you're really confident about, they will not ask more question on that. They will move to the next topic. So this is a small thing I always did when I was doing I was giving interviews, that whichever topic I was very confident about, purposely I used to spend little extra time on that, and then on that they will start asking more question, and that way it will go the way I want it to go. So that's what you can do on this particular question. I hope this is making sense to all of you.
Please do let us know on chat here. But I must say that is like very well answered, Amitesh. Thank you for giving us a very detailed answer and explanation also, how basically you can answer this question about the projects here. So now moving on to the next one. Like the next question here is, can you discuss a challenging problem you encountered in your AML work and how you basically resolved it?
Okay, if you ask, in my case, one of the problem that I faced a lot was initially when I was working with some government houses was data integration task, not on the analysis task, but the data integration task was quite baffling for us, because some of these organizations were using really old legacy systems. They had data in COBOL, they had data in some of the system which nobody uses now, and we had to integrate that data to give overall pictures. That was a big task for us. Apart from that, generally, one common challenge that you will come across is imbalanced data set. And I'm not very sure if you guys are familiar with that or not, but that's a typical classification problem. When you're doing a classification algorithm, you come across with an imbalanced data set. So you should be prepared with the answer like this. You can mention that one challenge that I faced was imbalanced data set, and particularly when I do classification, which leads to biased model that prioritize the majority class, and which will affect the model's ability to accurately predict the minority class. And to address this issue, I generally try resampling techniques. It could be oversampling or undersampling technique, or within that I can go for say synthetic minority oversampling technique, which is called SMOTE, to balance the data set. That's one way I look into it. Or I might also choose a better algorithm which might actually take care of the class imbalance, like some of the ensemble modeling technique takes care of the imbalanced classification issues. Like I can use XGBoost, or I can use a random forest for that, which can handle skewed data more effectively. Or and also what I do is if I have imbalanced data, performance metrics when it comes to, I utilize appropriate metric to understand how the model is doing. So I check for precision, I check for recall, I check for F1 score. I also check for AUC or precision recall curve. All that I check to understand if model is actually performing well or not. And then sometimes even feature engineering also help in taking care of this imbalance classification issues. Sometimes the model itself has a provision for applying weights to different classes. So these are the techniques I use to overcome this particular problem. So this is one example I'm giving you, guys. Okay.
Thank you so much, Amitendra, for answering that with so much detail. And I think we've just gotten one message that all this may sound new to us because we are yet to go to there with our current AML course. So I think keeping in mind the beginner sense also. So this webinar is actually for folks who are actually going out there and giving AML interviews. I understand your concern here. So moving on to the next question here. So the next question we have, which is most asked in the interviews, is what is the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning, Amity?
I guess I'll tell one thing here. First, in machine learning class, you'll be taught this, and everyone will understand what's the difference. So you explain them properly. What's supervised learning, unsupervised learning? Give examples also. A business example that this kind of problem is supervised learning, like if a transaction is fraudulent or not, is supervised learning. Unsupervised learning, you can say when you want to do a customer segmentation, that's your unsupervised learning. The difference is basically on the label part. Supervised learning has a labeled data. Unsupervised learning has unlabeled data. If some of you are not aware of this, do not worry, it will be taught to you. But what I want to tell you is that when you are telling the difference, always give some business examples and also the algorithms which are part of each type of learning. So when I say supervised learning, I'll define it, what it is. Then I'll say, like, for example, supervised learning could be stock prediction, or it could be weather prediction. It could be if a image is of a dog or a cat, probably. And algorithms that would be predominantly used in this would be, and then you can mention different algorithms. You can say under regression, I can try linear regression, or I can do ridge regression or lasso regression, which is basically helping me to regularize the models, linear regression model. Or under classification, I can try decision tree or a support vector machines. Similarly, under unsupervised learning, give an example that we can do a customer segmentation based on the transaction patterns probably. And then the algorithms would be a clustering algorithm, could be k-means, could be agglomerative, or it could be say you are doing market basket analysis. So that's what you need to mention. You need to mention which algorithm and what example.
Thank you so much, Amitendra, for answering that in a very simple way. So we have taken a lot of these interview questions for AIML here. We will be taking a lot of questions while as we were speaking in the Q&A box here as well. We even have like few Simplilearn alumni who have recently joined the course. I think that will also give folks a better idea, you know, what questions even a alumni might have, right, while they are taking up the course. So before we move on, we will take one more question here from the interview questions that we have here. So explain the concept of a decision tree in machine learning.
Explain the concept of decision tree in machine learning. Decision trees are basically a tree-like model that makes decision by following branches based on features. And it has different criteria for building the trees. You can choose entropy methods. You can choose Gini indexes, or if it's a regression problem, you can choose mean squared errors to build the tree. And although decision trees are defined for regression as classification both, but as well as classification both, but decision trees are predominantly used for classification. As regression, it has some limitations, and then you should also explain the limitation over there, and then tell where you can use it. And then you can also talk about some drawback of decision trees. So you can say that generally the model overfits, and that's a problem with decision tree. And then also mention, but if it overfits, then I can take care of overfitting by choosing different hyperparameter values, and then mention a couple of hyperparameter like max diffs, minimum sample splits, or the criteria that we are talking about. So that's what you should answer.
Thank you so much, Amitendra, for answering that interview question. As we have talked about the interview questions here, we have talked about the skills here. And we have talked about the career paths you can take up in AIML. So before we even move on to the program part and then take up the Q&A questions, we have more interview questions, from you folks, like the queries you have shared with us. There are plenty of them. So we would love to know what exactly is stopping you from becoming an AIML expert. So you can see a quick poll on the screen. This is a multiple choice poll. So because there can be multiple concerns, right? What's stopping you from becoming an AML expert? So I'll just read out these options for you here. So the first one here is I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. Second one, I don't have the practical exposure I need to become job ready. Third one, I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. And the last one, my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. So as I was speaking, I can see folks have already started basically sharing their basically responses here on the poll here. Just one second. But I'll just give 10 seconds more for the folks who are still choosing. In case this poll does not cover, like, what is your biggest challenge here when basically you want to go for an AIML career path here and or aspire to be an AIML practitioner? So what is the biggest challenge? You can let us know on the chat or in the Q&A box also, if this does not cover your basically challenge here. So as again, like I'm speaking, we have already gotten most of the responses of the folks here. So I'll just give 5 seconds more before I quickly close this poll. So folks, please hurry up and share with us, what are the biggest challenges you face when basically aspiring towards a AML career here. I'll just give 5 seconds more. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll end the poll. I saw that a lot of folks were still voting. I'm so sorry, I will have to close the poll. So I'll just share the results with you folks here. So let's see what you folks have shared. What are the biggest challenges here you face when basically it comes to becoming an AML expert here? So we have gotten 65% of the votes here for I wouldn't get the practical exposure I need to become job ready. And we have gotten 34% votes here for my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. And we have gotten 29% votes here for I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. And a few of the votes are for I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. So thank you once again for sharing that with us. Now moving on to the program preview part here. So IIT Kanpur's professional certificate course in AI machine learning here comes with a comprehensive industry-aligned learning path. You get integrated hands-on labs and projects for practical experience, which you can work on, which we'll be talking more about in the upcoming slides. What are those projects? How you can add those projects to your portfolio, and we have even taken a project question as well in the interview. So, and you get access to online virtual classrooms here, where you will find a really good peer and instructor interaction here. And also, this program will be flexible to fit your schedule. The program duration for this one is 11 months. And you can just complete it by giving just 10 to 15 hours per week. So I'm curious about one thing, Amitendra here. What is the online virtual classroom environment looks like, when it comes to peers and instructor interaction here? Is it like boring, or do we find something, interesting there every day when we go for this class? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So basically, the platform that we are talking about is this is what you're saying, Rasha, right? The platform that you're using.
Yeah.
So this platform is fully equipped with everything that you need for the training program. So what it does is, once you log into your LMS, you will be routed to your program, and there you get certain self-learning videos. That's just for your help purpose. It's not for something that you have to compulsorily watch and then only you will understand the concept. That's just for your helping purpose. So you have some self-learning videos, and then you have live virtual classes. Now, these live virtual classes will be running from an LMS. You will get a link. Just click on that. You will join the session. An instructor would be there, and they will be teaching you the entire concept. And once we are teaching any concept, then it goes like this. I'm teaching you, suppose, decision tree. So I explain you the mathematics behind that. How does it work? What are the problems you are solving with that? What kind of challenges you might come across? And then what I want to do is I want to implement that concept on a given problem. So then I define a problem and I say, let's solve it together. So then I need a lab, and I need lab in a sense, I need the Python environment because that's what we use generally. And I also need the data. So the LMS provides everything over there itself. So what will happen? You will have a section where you can download all the data. You can download the problem statements. You can also download the PPTs which are used by instructors. And then there is a link for a lab also. So what you do, click on the lab, go to the lab, and whatever instructor is asking you to do, start doing with the instructor on the lab. So what happens this way is you get a practical understanding of each problem, hands-on entirely, so you know how to implement it. If you have any doubt, you can simply ask the instructor there itself that I'm having this particular problem. Sometimes in my classroom, what happens that folks are very new to programming, they get stuck with that. I simply ask them to share their screen and show it to me. I'll tell you what's going wrong. So that way, it's just like a normal classroom. It doesn't feel like it's doing it. You're actually not in a physical classroom, because you can show your lab, you can show your notebook, you can ask all the relevant questions, and all in all, everything is at one place. Now, not only that, if suppose you have finished a particular section, then assessment is there only in the LMS. You can click on the assessment, finish the assessment, and get your certificate from LMS itself. And then if you get stuck somewhere, there is a helpline available. There's a community support. Go to the community. If you are solving a problem, you need some help with the trainers, go to the community, post your question. One of the trainer will answer it. Most of the time, my students can directly write to me also. That also is option. So all that is provided by our LMS at one place itself. So that's just an overview of the LMS.
Thank you so much for taking us through the learning environment here for IIT Kanpur's professional certificate course in AI machine learning. Now, at the end of it all, you'll be getting a program completion certificate from IIT Kanpur. Here you can see on your screen basically how the certificate will look like, and you get exposure to latest trends like generative AI, prompt engineering, ChatGPT, and more. Hands-on projects which we mentioned earlier, including a capstone one, which we'll be talking about in the upcoming slides. The masterclass is delivered by distinguished IIT Kanpur faculty. You'll get access to those as well. Now, basically, how this program builds your skills here, step by step. I'm so sorry, I think there's a typo here, cybersecurity, but it's AIML. So, as we can see that you start with an induction for PCB and AIML machine learning. And then we move on to the mathematics and statistics essentials and plus a program refresher. Then we move upwards to applied data science with Python, and then we move on to machine learning. And after machine learning, we go through deep learning with Keras and TensorFlows, and then we cover essentials of generative AI, prompt engineering, and ChatGPT. And we basically also work on a capstone project. The electives here basically are reinforced learning, advanced deep learning and computer vision, natural language processing, and speech recognition, academic and industry masterclasses, which we have mentioned earlier. So basically, the electives are a part of the program. You don't have to pay anything extra for that. So they come as an optional electives. So it is up to you if you want to take them up. That is what we suggest. And here you can master in-demand tools, libraries, and platforms which you can basically cover in this program. As we can see, a lot of these programs here, these tools and libraries, platforms here: Python, TensorFlow, Keras, ChatGPT, MATLAB, OpenCV, OpenAI, GMD, Django, Kubernetes, Flask, Midjourney, and many more other tools, libraries, platforms you can cover in this program. And you get to work on projects with real business implications. As one of the interview questions which is most asked is the project, right? Basically, what is the outcome? What was the approach? So you actually get access to a lot of projects you can work on. As few you can see on the screen here: retail, production, BFSI, and many more like these, which basically gives you a real world experience coming from a completely different background. As mentioned earlier, we also have capstone projects which you can work on, which you can showcase to your future employer here. So having a capstone project in your CV basically gives that true experience you can show in your portfolio when you're trying to get a job ready, get hired, there, and the capstone projects which we have. So sorry, capstone projects which we have, basically you can choose from. So I'm pretty sure that they have this question here, that how does exactly having these projects or a capstone projects on in their resume enhances their portfolio, when they are trying to get out there and get an AML job. As we can see, that one of the most asked questions is also about the project, right? Like your approach, your outcome there. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So first of all, Capstone provides you a practical application of knowledge. That's the first thing. Okay, so it gives you a practical application of knowledge. It will give you an opportunity to apply the theoretical knowledge that you have gained throughout the AI ML program to a real world problem. And this hands-on experience is invaluable in understanding the practical challenges and nuances of implementing AI ML solution, because it's a very comprehensive project. You will be assessed on everything that you have learned from day one to the last day of your session. So end-to-end implementation would be there. So it will give you a lot of understanding how a real world problem is solved. That gives you confidence when you are talking about what did you do in the last project. You can mention it, you can talk about in detail, you can mention that what you have done, how you have done, what was your approach, what challenge you faced, what algorithms you applied, how did you fine tune it, all that you can talk about. Then, as Rasha mentioned, portfolio enhancement. Successfully completing a capstone project demonstrates your ability to conceptualize, design, and execute a complex AI/ML project. So it will serve as a valuable addition to your portfolio. And then obviously it is for your skill development. So working on a capstone project will allow you to hone your technical skills in data pre-processing, model selection, feature engineering, model evaluation, and all. And then our capstone is a well executed capstone project that will address a current or relevant industry challenge. So it's very industry relevant. That's what I can say. And then problem solving and innovation, in a sense that you can not only you're solving a problem, but you can also try and see what new things you can apply to it. That is also always something which we encourage. So that way it will be very beneficial to you once you do a capstone project.
Thank you so much, Amitendra, for answering that in much more detail. I hope that basically clears your questions about the projects you can add on, because you've gotten a lot of questions regarding the projects part here. Now, we have the eligibility, because I think few of the folks have asked if they are eligible for this program or not. So basically, you need to have a prior knowledge or experience in programming and mathematics, a bachelor's degree with an average of 50% or higher marks, and 2+ years of formal work experience is preferred when you're taking up this course here. So, and we have global leaders as program director here, Professor Amey Karkare. Basically, he's the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, basically program director, and basically they make sure that Simplilearn is delivering as per standards to IIT Kanpur here. I think maybe we can take a few questions here, Amitendra, from the Q&A box here. I think as we can see, we have plenty of questions. So what I'll do is I'll just put down a question for you in the chat box here for you to refer. Because it will be very hard to find from these many questions we have here. So this is by Raju Yadav here. Raju here is actually a Simplilearn alumni and has recently just joined the IIT Kanpur course here. So as we can see that Raju has asked, basically, I'm working as a teacher in government primary school and getting salary approx 70,000, and also I'm doing my best job and made institute best position in the state. So wow, that's great, Raju. Good to hear that. And but I always have keen interest in IT sector and doing a job abroad. I have taken admission in AIML course by IIT Kanpur from Simplilearn. So kindly let me know how it will be helpful, like this course for me, in some or the other way. Same job for my growth. Regards Raju Yadav, and also he's a graduate from BSc Biology. Has not done any course in IT before, and but he's good with MS Office and other softwares. And he has basically also mentioned his age as 47. So that's great, like, being pretty transparent. So first of all, really proud of you, Raju, for, building a school, a government primary school in your area and making it the best in your position in your state. So Amitindra, like, would you like to help Raju and answer his query here?
Well, if you're asking, first of all, Raju, I just want to congratulate on what you have done. It's something which I have been trying to do since ages, but I have not done. And it's nice to see somebody has been doing something like this. Now, when you're asking how program is helpful to you already completed, I would say, first of all, it must have enhanced your problem solving skills. The AIML course generally sharpen your analytical and problem solving skills, enable you to approach challenges more effectively. And in your case, it would be educational challenges if you're pursuing the same path that you have chosen. And it will help you in finding some innovative solution for enhancing the learning experience of your students if you want to continue doing that. Because I'm not very sure what you're looking going forward. So if you're looking to enhance what you have been doing, data-driven teaching approaches would be a much better approach in terms of making sure that every student is able to optimize their skill set. So with the knowledge you gain from the course, you can implement a data-driven teaching methodology, which I have been advocating since long. In fact, I have been associated with a couple of schools over here in Hyderabad where we talk about all these concepts, not in terms of teaching the students, but telling the management how they can utilize it. And it's pretty good, actually. That's more of an experiment we have been doing. So you can have data-driven teaching methodology, utilizing analytics and insights to personalize learning for students. So a lot of things you can do in the same job role that you have been to, and you can integrate technology into education, talk about AI, ML and all. Curriculum development is something which you can do based on certain tools which will be very helpful, which is backed by AI, ML. So something like that you can do. Not very sure what's your career path you're thinking to choose going.
He has basically shared with us on the chart here that he's interested to innovate rural students with the help of AIML.
Ah, that's very nice. So as I mentioned earlier also that like like when we have been talking to some of the schools over here, we talk about like the overall growth of a student right from the primary section, and when he or she goes to the 10th or 12th board, then over the period of time we can analyze data and we can tell what areas they should focus upon or what they are really good at, their health metrics, their educational performances, all that we analyze, and then we tell them that what uh, kind of focus is required for a particular student, so you can create a lot of personalized learning opportunities for the students. That's one thing for sure. And then you can also help them with the technology integration, in a sense that AI and ML can facilitate the integration of technology in the classroom. Like you might be talking about a simple concept where you can create certain animation and explain them in a better manner. That kind of stuff you can do.
Thank you so much, Amitindra, for answering Raju's question. Raju, please let us know in chat here if that basically answers your question. And also keep up the good work which you're trying to do. So thank you so much for that. And moving on, we'll take a lot of these questions here. We have gotten in the Q&A box. We have talked about the skills. We have talked about the career paths. We have talked about the projects you can work on. A caption project you can basically add to your portfolio once you're done with the project. So we have a quick poll question here. Would you like to enroll into the professional certificate course in EIML by IIT Kanpur? So just to mention, we have a bonus offer for you for attending this webinar. So like, please don't miss out on the bonus offer for attending this webinar for this program, which if you would like to enroll. And also you can basically, there's a timeline of enrollment as well. I'll be asking about that as well. When do you plan to enroll? So even if you're planning to enroll even more than 6 months from now, you can still avail on the bonus offer for attending the webinar you'll be getting for this program. As I was speaking, I can see a lot of interest coming towards enrollment. So that's great. We have gotten a lot of folks here, basically, who aspire to be an AI expert here. And I'm definitely sure we'll do great things. As we can see, like Raju, who actually is one of the alumni who has recently joined the course, plans to basically innovate rural students and with the help of AI/ML. So that's great. And also, I think someone is asking about the webinar content in PDF. So the thing is, we cannot share the content PDF, but definitely we'll be sharing the recording link of the session post-webinar over mail. So you can look out for that and you will get that recording link and go through it in much more detail. So Prince, I hope that answers your question. I'll just keep this poll live for 15 seconds more. Meanwhile, as we browse through the Q&A questions here. So we'll be taking your queries from the Q&A box here pretty soon, folks. So in case you have any questions about the program or AI/ML career in general, the interview prep questions in general, you can let us know. We basically have surpassed the timing of the webinar, but we'll just give like few more minutes just for the addressing all of your queries here. Amitendra, will you be okay with that? Like, it will take like 5 minutes more for addressing the queries.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine, Nasha. Not a problem.
Okay, awesome. So once again, there's a quick poll on your screen. Would you like to enroll into the professional certificate course by AI/ML here? In case you want to check out the course in much more detail, I'm sharing the link here on chat here. You can go through that link here also. I'll be sharing the program schedule and the program fee in the upcoming slides and the enrollment steps to basically give you a much better understanding how the enrollment works once basically I've shared your interest. So yeah, I think folks have already started like putting down more questions in the Q&A box. That's great. You can see our quick poll on the screen here, basically for the enrollment part of the program here. So please do let us know your interest towards enrollment by just clicking on yes on the poll here. And this way you can avail on the bonus offer as well. You'll be getting to attend this webinar today for the basically professional certificate course in AI by IIT Kanpur. Okay, I think I can see most of the folks have already shared in their responses on the poll here. So I'll just quickly end this poll in 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, I've ended the poll here. And once again, thank you so much for sharing your interest with us for enrollment part. So folks who already shared the interest here towards enrollment, let me quickly take you through the enrollment steps here. So the enrollment steps basically are 3 simple steps here. You need to submit an application to us at askus@simplilearn.net. Based on that, your application will be going for a review, and based on the eligibility and prerequisites you have shared with you. Based on that, you'll be getting admissions offer letter and Simplilearn's learning consultants will be reaching out to you to take you through the program in much more detail. And also, as I said, that if you basically need any assistance, you can always reach out to us at ask@simplilearn.net. I've shared that email ID on the chart here. The enrollment schedule and the program fee for this program by IIT Kanpur is 1,53,400, including taxes, INR. And in case you're joining from a different region, I have shared the link to the program here on chat. You can basically go and check it out for your own region as well. I think someone asked about if there are any EMI options available for this program. So yes, we do have, and you can just avail that at 5,222 rupees per month. And the upcoming cohorts for this particular program is on 18th of November, and the induction will be starting on first week of November. So in case basically you're planning to enroll, we only take 25 to 30 folks per cohort in order to make sure you're getting all the attention that is required when you're taking up the program. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us at askus@simplilearn.net. I have shared that email ID on the chat box here. And also, as we saw that a lot of you folks have shared interest towards the enrollment into the program. So we would also love to know, when do you basically plan to enroll? How soon do you plan to enroll into the program? So there are 4 quick options here. Immediately, within 3 months, within 6 months, more than 6 months from now. So I would recommend for folks who are looking for the next upcoming cohort in the next few months, next 2 months or so, you can select the option immediately, because I've shared there is an upcoming cohort we can join in November. And in case you need more time, you can select the within 3 months option or within 6 months option. And folks who are still thinking about it, planning about it, but have shared their interest towards enrollment, I would say don't miss out on the bonus offer, right? So you've already shared that with us. So you can select the more than 6 months from now option. You can still avail the bonus offer through that. So as I was speaking, I can see folks have already started sharing when do they plan to enroll. We'll be quickly moving towards the Q&A part of the session after this, and addressing a few of your queries as much as we can, because we have already extended the time of the session by 5 minutes here. I'll just quickly end the poll in 5 seconds. So a few of the folks who are still sharing when do they plan to enroll, I'll just give 5 seconds for that. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now going to the Q&A part here. So let's just, I'm going to quickly browse through the questions here. Obviously, there are so many questions. So let me do one thing. I think you have answered few questions as well, right? As you were answering the interview prep masterclass questions. So maybe okay, I think this is an interesting one. I'll just put this down on the chat for you because it will be very hard to find it in so many questions we have. So the name is not mentioned here, but for any interview, the question is always give me practical issues which you faced on AIML, and how did you overcome those challenges? How can we answer it? And if we don't have much practical hands-on experience.
Okay, you do not have much practical hands-on. If you lack practical hands-on experience in AML, you can approach the interview question by emphasizing your theoretical knowledge, problem-solving skills, and your ability to adopt and learn quickly. Probably something like this you can do. Like you can talk about emphasize on your strong grasp of AIML concepts, algorithms, methodologies, gain through whatever course we are talking about you have completed, and relevant projects, capstones that you have worked upon, and then try to demonstrate a problem solving skills. You can talk about, discuss instances where you have tackled a complex problem during your program, during your capstone, or whatever project you have done. And if they were not directly related to AIML, suppose, and you do not have many to showcase, then showcase your ability to analyze challenges critically, break them down into manageable components, and devise effective solution. That's what we are doing in machine learning, right? We are taking a problem, breaking down into multiple components. So as long as we see, generally, I'll tell you, like, if I have to, as long as I see that a person has a good problem solving skill, and they have some technical background, I can say technical background in the sense they have learned few things, and it seems that the person is keen to learn and adopt, I would be happy to have him in my team. So demonstrate your problem solving skills, talk about your adaptability and learning agility. I would say that how you have learned new technology, or how you have uh, uh, quickly grasped a new concept. That's what you can talk about. Or some projects, personal projects that you might have done. Probably you might have participated in hackathon, or probably you have downloaded from Kaggle, you solved it, and explain to them that what steps you have taken and how did you solve. So I guess if you do that much, it will convey this understanding that you have keen knowledge, you have keen I would say you have a knack of problem solving, and you are very keen in terms of adapting to new technology, and you're passionate about IIML, and that would surely get you a particular job role that you're looking for.
Thank you so much, Amitendra, for answering that. We don't have a name here, so please do let us know in chat here in case you have any follow-up questions, or if that answers your question. We have actually an interesting, like a question here. Is actually your student, Amitendra.
My
So,
student.
yeah, Chirag, I think Chirag is what I can make from the email ID. So I'm just put down that question for you on the chat here. So I've enrolled into the program by Simplilearn recently, and I'm attending Amit's lecture. My main question is how to start career in AIML, and currently working embedded engineering in automotive industry.
Okay, I can recall now. Chirag is part of my maths and statistics essential that I'm taking for Caltech these days. The data structures and algorithms work in Python, and then you start dive deep into the coursework that we are providing. Understand, like, any algorithm that you are learning, learn what is the concept behind it, where you use it, and a couple of things. Even if somebody is not telling you, find it on your own, like what kind of challenges you face in that particular algorithm, what limitations would be there, and how to handle those problems. So I would say do that for every algorithm, because it's not possible to explain your algorithm for 4 or 5 hours. That we explain to you what's the basic concept and how does it work. And apart from that, some basic problems that you might come across. But I would say go entirely in detail that what kind of challenges or what kind of limitations are there for each one of them. And then hands-on practice is very important. So for every algorithm that you are learning, any concept that you are learning, uh, relate to a particular business problem and then see how you can solve that. So undertake some practical AI ML projects that you might come across on you will find so many on internet, and experiment with the data set, apply different algorithms, focus on understanding the nuances of implementing AI ML solution. That's what I keep saying, that concept is important, but even more important is in terms of how do you tweak a particular algorithm, how do you customize it, or how do you fine tune it. That's even more important. And then eventually I would say one more thing is that don't forget to network and collaborate with different people. Be very active on LinkedIn and all. I would say that to every one of you, that if you want to make your career in this particular field, start interacting with people who are already working in this particular field. Okay, and that way when the opportunity comes to for a particular company, you will have somebody working over there, and references work very well when you are looking for a job. Okay, so that's what I would say. And to end on this, that you have to stay updated, because every now and then something new comes up, so you have to continuously learning new topics, new concepts which are coming. So that's what I would say. That's what you should do going forward, Chirag.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Amitendra, for answering that. I think we have exceeded the time of the session, so we'll be like stopping taking questions from the Q&A box here. So folks who have already shared they want to enroll, and basically when do you plan to enroll? Please do let us know on the quick poll which you see on the screen here. Is do you need assistance in enrolling to the IIT Kanpur's professional certificate course in artificial intelligence and machine learning? And also, thank you so much, Amitendra, for like taking the time out and basically taking us through the interview prep masterclass, and also sharing your experience as well. In your own interview days. To be honest, like we have so many questions. Always in your program, but obviously this time of duration we cannot cover all of them. But we basically keep coming up with these new webinars, and with in the coming months we will be having again another webinar with Amitendra for sure. So you can basically check out those webinars in this link that we are sharing. You can check out free master classes which you can attend, which basically will give you a better understanding of how the basically courses, or maybe like the dream job you are looking for, to explore that much more through these webinars, which will might give you a little bit clarity on which basically stream to pursue. So thank you so much once again, Amitendra. Would you like to say something before we close the session?
First of all, thank you so much, Rasha, for having me here. It's always pleasure talking to you on different concepts. And to all of you, I would just like to say this, that just focus on basics, and I know you will do well. So best of luck to all of you.
Thank you once again, Amitendra, and would love to thank folks here for being an amazing audience here, and also basically taking up so many interesting questions here, which we got in the Q&A box. Thank you so much for engaging and with us, and again, like thank you so much for taking the time out and joining this free interview prep masterclass today. So once again, please do let us know how was the session for you today. I hope that gave you a little bit understanding about the interview prep masterclass. And before we even end the session, I just have a quick survey question poll for you. So this poll basically is to understand what topics or areas of interest would you like to see covered in the future webinars here. So this interview prep again was one of the one of the new categories of webinars which we have done with Amitendra here for AIML. But would love to know, like on the quick poll you see here, I'll just read out these options for you. As you can see, the first option here is program project demos. Second one, resume enhancement, resume review and tips. And the third one, interview preparation, which we have just done now. And fourth one, case studies. Fifth one, soft skill development. And then trends, industry specific insights, project reviews. So project demos and project reviews are totally different. Basically, project demos are basically what project demos are covered in this program. In particular programs of the courses the webinar is for. Project reviews is for someone who's actually completed the project and also wants basically quick review, through a expert here. So that is one of the options, and career advancement strategies. As I was speaking, we have already started getting a lot of responses in the poll here, but I'll just give 10 seconds more because we would love to know what exactly do you look forward to when you basically attend our webinars here. And we would want to make it better for you and as much value adding as possible you can get out of this. I think someone has asked on the chat here that when will the recording be available? So you can access, Anand, if you are your current Simplilearn alumni because you've written LMS, but you basically be getting, if you're just an attendee, you'll be getting the recording of this webinar over mail post webinar. And also folks basically who want the certificate of the this webinar, you can basically go and check out the post webinar survey email you'll be getting. In there, please do mention your full name, which basically you would want to see in the webinar certificate. Folks basically who are not putting down their full name in the post webinar survey, we won't be giving out webinar certificates for them. So apologies in advance for that. Okay, awesome. I think we have gotten the responses here on the survey. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. We'll be taking a note of all the suggestions you have given on the poll here, and we'll be implementing those categories of webinars and coming with many new webinars with you, along with Amitendra here. So, so thank you again once everyone for joining. Thank you once again, Amitendra, for joining and taking us through this interesting interview prep masterclass. We'll be ending the session now. Again, thank you once again, everyone. Thank you.